Warning! The following contains video game zombies. You have been warned by this warning. Also, be sure to subscribe. It's time to talk about one of those games which I've only dabbled in quite a few times. It is Ghouls and Ghosts. It's one of those classic games that has become one of those popular arcade games through the years. It started off in the late 1980s and it was on the arcade machines. It was also on many games consoles, including Sega consoles and Nintendo consoles. So, what's my thoughts on this craze? Well, to put it bluntly, I've never really been that much of a fan of it, to be honest with you. Shock horror, I know. I mean, you can see the appeal that it has. You've got all of the different ghouls and the ghosts because, well, the game wouldn't be called that, would it? And you're going through side-scrolling level. It's just your typical 1980s video game, and like many people would say, I've also got to say, it is so fucking hard. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Capcom made this, and Capcom, of course, made our Mega Man games, and later on they made a franchise with some more zombies, which was slightly better. If we just ignored like the shitty PS1 style Resident Evil games, then that's great. But the later ones from 4 onwards, yeah, real good. You know level 1-1 in Super Mario Brothers, you know how like memorable it is. You've got your starting screen with your bricks and your question mark blocks, you've got a Goomba at the bottom, and it's become like one of the staples of video game history, up there with the other likes of, say, Rapture in Bioshock, or Green Hill Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog. And I know like that's a huge leap, but you know what I mean? There's some levels that are really memorable. The first level in Ghouls and Ghosts is very memorable. The reason why is because you will die a lot. And I mean like Dark Souls level of dying. It is fucking ridiculous. Most of the time it's 2 hits and you're dead. It's like, cut me a break. And I know what you're going to say. In Super Mario Brothers, you can get hit once if you're Tiny Mario and then you're dead. And yeah, that is very true, you can. But you can also get power-ups in that game. And in my mind, that game is a little bit fairer. I mean, I'm no expert at the original Super Mario Brothers. To be honest, I'm a little bit shit at it. But I certainly think it's much fairer a video game than Ghouls and Ghosts, because this just takes the biscuit. This has never been a video game which I've been able to get into, and I played this video game God knows how many years ago. I've played it in different forms. I've played it on an arcade machine, I've also played it on the console, most recently on the Nintendo Switch, on the online service that they've got. Each time I try to get into this game, I end up walking away like after 5 minutes because I'm just like, ah, fuck this. And the reason why is because I just keep on dying. I've progressed a little bit in recent times because I wanted to at least conquer the first few levels, and I've managed to do that. And I've got to say, the game really tests you. It's all about muscle memory. Sometimes you need luck to be on your side, because if one of those zombies gets you, you're just more or less fucked, especially when you end up without their armour. You look really weird without the armour. Like, what the fuck, I look like some sort of caveman. Overall, I'd say that Ghouls and Ghosts is definitely one of the most hardest video games ever known to mankind. Just the sheer thought of the name, I just shiver really, because Ghouls and Ghosts. Ghouls and Ghosts will go down as one of the most insane video games ever made, and I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in like GTA 5 where that game is just insane for all the right reasons. Ghouls and Ghosts is insane because of the just sheer difficult nature. Every time I hear someone talk about Ghouls and Ghosts, one of the first things they say is, "Oh yeah, it's one of the hardest video games ever made." Oh yeah, that's good. Are you actually going to talk about the game though? Not many people talk about it, as in they talk about Dark Souls. I mean, that game is very hard, but that game, people talk about the bosses, people talk about the enemies and all the obstacles in that game. With Ghouls and Ghosts, you don't really hear a lot of that, and maybe it's because it's an older game and maybe not a lot of people these days remember it, or maybe they've not played it. The worst thing about this has to be the level design. I just can't stand it. Some people watching this are probably going to be thinking, well, this guy's a little bitch complaining about Ghouls and Ghosts. Some people out there probably think that this is the greatest video game ever made, and if you think that, fine. But for me, it's just one of those video games that just passes me by. I don't think it's a terrible game, but it's something that just doesn't really appeal to me, because it's one of those, I try it, and after a few goes, after I've died a few times, I'm just like, I'm not really getting that much out of this. Especially when you play the whole game all the way through. Ask me what video games I like to play. I like to play Mario, I like to play Zelda, I like to play me a little bit of Halo now and again. You know, games which I can just sit down, relax, and don't have the thought of inevitable death on my mind, because that is what this game is, and to be fair, Dark Souls is as well. Keep mentioning Dark Souls in this video. Point is, Ghouls and Ghosts is just like fucking ridiculous. I've played better video games, even from that era. And yeah, that's the end of the video. So, yeah. Make sure to subscribe.